In this lecture, we will be discussing about the second part of cyclic group theory. In the first part, we have already known what a cyclic group is. Cyclic group is a group G which is generated by some element A. It is known as cyclic group. Right? That means from this element A, we can generate the whole group. For the multiplicative group, that is for dot, we express each element as a to the power n, and for the additive group, that is G plus, we express each element as na, right, where n belongs to the integer set. So this is how in general we express any element of that cyclic group which is generated by the single element A. And we have also known that for a cyclic group it should be always commutative, but the converse is not true. And there was another theory, that is the order of that group G and its generator will be same. That means if the order of the group G is equals to n, then the order of its generator will also be n, and vice versa. This is a necessary and sufficient condition. Okay. Now moving to the next part, that is next property theorem. It is saying that a finite group G, O is of order n, it is cyclic if and only if there exists an element B belongs to G such that order of B equals n. That means whenever a group is a cyclic group, it should have one element of the same order as that of the order of the group, and vice versa. That means whenever we will get such element having the same order as that of the order of the group, then we can claim that group must be a cyclic group. Okay, so we have to prove it. Let G be a cyclic group and order of G equals n. Now from the previous theorem we know then order of A will also be n, right, where A is the generator of the group G, because we know these two order must be same, so order of A it be equal to n. So here we get our B equals A. That means we get one element which is A and it's having the same order as that of the order of the given group. So the first part is proved. Now moving to the next part. Let there exist some element B belongs to G such that order of B equals n. Okay, and we have also given that order of G equals n also. Now we have to prove G is a cyclic group. That means we need to find out one generator for G. Now let us consider order of B equals n, we know. Now let us consider the elements B square dot b to the power n minus 1, then b to the power n. Now b to the power n will be equal to e, as the order of B is equals to n. So let us consider these all elements. Okay, these are all elements belongs to G, because we are just composing 2b here, then for b cube we are just composing 3b, and so on. This all must belongs to G. So all these are belongs to G. Now G having order of G is equals to n, and there are also total n elements. That means we can write G equals this set, right? Now check the other powers of B, that means b to the power 0 and all the negative powers of B, that is b to the power minus 1, b to the power minus 2, and so on. These are also belongs to G, because b to the power minus 1 is just b inverse, b to the power minus 2 is just b inverse its square, that means composing b inverse 2 times, and so on. That means these are also belongs to G. Now these positive powers belongs to G, and the 0 and the negative powers also belongs to G. That means all the elements of G are of the form b to the power n, where n belongs to Z. Now whenever n belongs to Z, it covers all the positive powers, all the 0 power, and all the negative powers. That means by b to the power n, G can be fully represented. So G is generated by that B. That means G is a cyclic group. Okay, this proves the theorem. Now this theorem is very much useful to prove that a particular group is a cyclic group. How? We just have to find one element of the same order as that of the order of the given group. For example, if we take this example, S equals 1 minus 1 plus I minus I. Then S comma dot is a group, right? Now what is the order of S? Order of S means the number of elements it has. It has total 4 elements, so it is 4. Now we need to find out the order of each of the elements of S. If someone having the order 4, then we can say that S is a cyclic group and this is our generator. Now what is the order of 1? 1 is the identity element, so its order is 1. Next, order of minus 1. If we multiply minus 1 2 times, that is minus 1 into minus 1, we will get 1. This is our identity element, so this is why the order of minus 1 is 2. Now let's find order of I. If we multiply I 2 times, we will get I square, which is equal to minus 1, right? Which is not equal to E. So let's check for 3 times. We will get minus I, which is not again E. Now let's check for 4 times. It will become minus 1 into minus 1. That is plus 1, which is equals to E. That means order of I is equals to 4. So we got one element I which belongs to S and it has the same order as that of the order of the group. That is order of S equals order of I. So S is a cyclic group having I as a generator. Having I as a generator. That means S is generated by I. Okay. This is how we find out some cyclic groups. Similarly, if we take the next example, S equals 1 comma minus 1. This one. And this theorem is only applicable for finite groups, not for infinite ones. Okay. So S equals 1 minus 1. Order of S equals 2. Now let's check order of the first element 1, which is the identity element. So 1. Next order of minus 1. If we multiply minus 1 2 times, it will become 1, which is equal to E. So the order of minus 1 is 2. That means which is equal to order of S. So from there we can claim S is the cyclic group with minus 1 as the generator. Right? S is a cyclic group and it is generated by minus 1. Okay. Next, moving to the next theorem. Let G be a finite, next theorem. Let G be a finite cyclic group Let G be a finite cyclic group of order greater than 1 and generated by A. Of order greater than 1 and generated by A. Then for positive integer R, A to the power R is also a generator. A to the power R is also a generator if and only if R is less than n and prime to n. If and only if R is less than n and prime to n. Okay. Let G comma O be a finite cyclic group and G is generated by A. Then for positive integer R, for any positive integer R, A to the power R will also be a generator if and only if R is less than n and prime to n. This is also another very important theory. At first we will prove it. So it is given that G is a finite group. So let's take order of G equals n. That means order of A is equals to n also, because A is the generator, and G can be represented like this: A square dot dot up to A to the power n, which is equals to E, obviously, because order of A is equals to n. So G can be represented like this. Now let A to the power R is also a generator. Okay. Then A belongs to G, and a to the power r is also a generator, that is G is generated by a to the power r also. That means A can be represented by some power of a to the power r. Let's take a to the power r to the power k, okay, for some integer k. That means from there what we can write, A equals a to the power rk, that is a to the power rk minus 1 equals E. Now order of A is given equals n. So by a well-known theorem, what we can say, that is n is a divisor of rk minus 1. That means rk minus 1 can be represented as some multiple of n, that is let's say Sn, okay, for some integer s. That is from there we can write rk plus Sn equals 1. Now take the integers r and n. R and n. These are expressible as the linear combination of two integers and their sum is equals to 1. So from this line what we can claim, that is r comma n are prime to each other. That means GCD of r comma n equals 1. This proves the theorem. Okay, this proves the necessary part. Now for the sufficient part, what we have to do, we have to take, let's order of, let r is less than n and prime to n. Now let's find out the order of a to the power r. Order of a to the power r. This will be order of A by GCD of n comma r, right? We know the theory. Order of A is n by GCD of n comma r. Now it is given in the question that this part is equals to 1, that is n by 1, that is equals to n. That means a to the power r is also have the same order as that of the order of our group. So a to the power r is also a generator. Right? This proves the theorem. A to the power r is also a generator. This proves the theorem. Now we have a theory, only the statement. That is, if order of G equals n, cyclic group, obviously finite cyclic group, then its number of generator of G is equals phi of n. Okay. Now what is phi? Phi of n, this is called Euler's phi function. Euler's phi function. Okay. And it has the value as phi of n is equals to the number of positive integers less than n and prime to n. Number of positive integers less than n and prime to n. Okay. Now let's find out some example. Let's take S equals this one, 1 minus 1 I minus I. Okay. So what will be the number of generators of S? Number of generators of S will be equal to phi of n. N means number of elements or the order, that is phi of 4. Phi of 4 is equals to 2. And how will we get that? For that reason we also have another formula. Phi of n, if n equals p to the power k, where p is some prime number, then phi of n is equals to p to the power k into 1 minus 1 by p. Okay, this is the rule. And when n equals p, that means p to the power 1 actually. Then where p is a prime number, then phi of p will be equals to p minus 1. This is the rule of finding phi. Okay, this rule is very important. Just apply this rule and you will get the result of finding number of generators. Now for the previous example we got order of S equals 4, right? So number of generators of S will be equal to phi of 4. Now phi of 4 means phi of 2 square, that is p to the power k type. That means it will be p to the power k into 1 minus 1 by p, that is half. So it will become 2 square, that is 4, into 1 minus half, that is half. So this will be equals to 2, that is the number of generators is equals to 2. Okay, this is how we apply this Euler's phi function.